My mangas are based on my D&D games. Why did I change the tieflings to the Brimborn? Well, the simplest answer is I didn't want legal issues with Wizards of the Coast, but I also wanted to rebuild everything from the ground up so everything is fresh. Like, forest elves aren't just humans with pointy ears. Did you know that they are actually considered full devils? But even though they have the ability to reproduce with anything, whenever it comes to the 10 Hells, which is where they were originally created, most male and females are mostly used on the front lines of combat because their orders are reproduction, espionage, and combat. And typically the upper level demons, the act of penance whenever a soul goes to hell and turns into a devil, and succubi are usually enough to fill the ranks of hell. The Brimborns are used as reproduction hell, mostly kind of like in emergency situations. But in the mortal world, they are considered a high value commodity within a certain industry. We kind of get a glimpse of a Brimborn's day-to-day life because we have Gil right here actively working in her father's forge, working on mastering her craft. Look at what all the guys behind her are thinking. But Pimbok actually says it perfectly. Being the only Brimborn in town, every guy wanted to date her, but she wasn't interested in dating. She wanted to be more than just a trophy, and I wanted to be treated like everyone else. That's why we worked so well together. And so whenever I create a new race from scratch, I always ask the question, how does their biology affect the culture and society that they exist in, thus their history? That's why Pan is having this retelling of why she became an adventurer, because she saw a Brimborn treated like everyone else. The Brimborns aren't the only one that actually have this stereotyping going on in the series. Because when Polly's explaining the rules of being in the group together, he looks at the orc rogue and like, all loot shared equally. And with Parathon's outburst, we actually get two pieces of lore. One, orcs are considered to have heavy meat, if you know what I mean, and two, rogues are known for stealing. In Devil's Deal, we explore a little bit why rogues have such a bad reputation and how rogues feel about it. So I always try to dig a little bit deeper than just surface level, here's an elf, they love the woods. Like when Omaha has this reaction the first time she goes to the Elden Forest. And we get an understanding of why, as Lady Mary, one of the Holy Knights of Homer, explains. And yes, she is a fallen angel druid shaman, which is why her wings are bones and she has a sword attached to her soul. But I don't just extend that to species and histories. Let's look at my Deepstalker Crow series chapter 7, where we get to meet Grace, who's cooking goblin, and Lorien, the forest elf, who not only shows us how forest elves make outfits out of their leaflets, but who's also banging a blind woman. But this gives us an awesome opportunity for when Mercy asks, why isn't she afraid of them? Because all Deepstalkers have a fear aura that can make them look like horrific monsters to all who gaze upon them. Like, that's Mercy. Unfortunately, it can have some devastating effects on people. But I didn't just throw Seek in as a blind girl and say, well, I did my job. I actually thought about how she would move around the house, how she would actually be able to keep track of items, how she would be able to live, how she would be able to bathe. All the questions of how does Seek function when Lorien's not around? Like, did you know she used raised numbers to keep track of when she needs to replace the water Ellie crystal, which gives her bath water, toilet water, and also sink water. Instead of dipping her finger in the hot water, she actually uses a rod to tell her how hot it is before she gets in. And even the layout of her floor paneling is different to help her identify when she's in one room versus the other, because she can feel the difference in the patterns. If you want to support me, grab a copy of Deepstalker Crow, because I accidentally put in $500 versus $5,000 for the printing cost. And we've got 2 days left to get it funded. If you like dark fantasy and action, or my twist on my D&D games, check out Deepstalker Crow.